I don't know about all of you, maybe it's just me having to be stuck in my home all day, every day, except for when I go for my daily mile walk. But I've had just about enough. Politicians, and especially the media, thinking that they know how to live my life better than I do by telling me how to live during this time. Not only that, but I'm also sick of hearing about people who don't have it that bad, complaining about their plight while the schmoronavirus is going on. A lot of the complaining we're hearing right now amounts to nothing more than a desperate cry, and not for help, but for attention. Hey everybody, I really appreciate you spending some time out of your day with us here at MRC-TV. I'm Nick Kangadis. I've been seeing examples of what I talked about at the top, and since we've been relegated to our homes. But one article in particular set me over the edge. It wasn't even anything too egregious, but the self-righteous wording of it really pissed me off. And go figure, it's from our friends at CNN. Headline: How to be a more ethical Amazon shopper during the pandemic. It's not even necessarily portions of the message contained within the article that ticked me off. It was the hubris that CNN used and typically uses to tell all of us that these aren't suggestions. This is the way it should be because they said so. At one point in the article, the writer and a director of an organization whose job it is to scrutinize the way Amazon conducts its business tells people how they should be shopping. Quote, "The most important thing customers can do right now is not give in to the temptation to panic buy a bunch of unnecessary items just because it's easy to do," unquote. Now listen, normally I would agree with that. And I understand that it's a jerk move to buy up all the toilet paper. That's panic buying. Not when someone buys one video game, but to tell people that they shouldn't buy things that they want simply because they think it's not ethical is stupid. It's almost as if organizations like CNN want the economy to go completely in the tank, and saying almost is giving them the benefit of the doubt, which they don't deserve. But as I reported almost a month ago now, Amazon announced that they were going to prioritize the shipments of essential items over non-essential ones. So instead of CNN trying to be mother and father to everyone, I think Amazon, which is a far more successful company than CNN ever wished to be, should be allowed to run its own business as it sees fit. The bottom line is that I'm really sick and tired of these entitled people telling the rest of us how to live, especially right now. Politicians grabbing as much authority and subverting the Constitution every chance they get. Whitmer.
It is no surprise the governor is extending the stay-at-home order.
Now is not the time to pull back at all. It is the time to intensify.
But some of the new restrictions on things like gardening supplies are being criticized as lacking in common sense.
They trample on our rights, and we just take it. They work for us, not the other way around. Now, as I've said before, I'm not saying that people shouldn't take the proper precautions. Do what is necessary to stay healthy, but for God's sakes, don't let people who care not one bit about whether you live or die dictate how you're going to ride this out. And I'm primarily speaking about the media now. Remember, the media is the same entity that we got this little nugget from a few years ago.
The dangerous, edges here are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts, and it could be that while unemployment and the economy worsens, he could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think, and that is our job.
Look, they're losing it. Plain and simple. People in the media and celebrities are absolutely losing it because they're not getting the attention they normally do. That's why they're trying to tell you how to live.
That is our job.
And that's why, and call me cold, but that's why I find it hilarious that some celebrities are doing anything to not only get attention from you, but to actually try and garner some level of sympathy for their plight. Oh, you poor dear, having to stay at home on thousands upon thousands of square feet in a mansion that could fit more than one of our families. Don't get me wrong, good for them for making the money to buy a mansion. That's their right to do with their money as they please. But don't come crying to me and telling me that we all need to do this or we all need to do that just because you're lonely.
Celebrities, millionaire celebrities. I'm stuck in my mansion. I'm fed up. There's only so many times I can go for a swim. I'm sad. I'm not on the telly every night.
One thing I think we can all take away from this schmoronavirus portion of our lives is that celebrities and people in the media are just that. People like you and I, but with a much smaller grasp on reality.
Oh, if I see another article with a Hollywood actress going makeup free. Oh, right, yeah, we're all chipping in, aren't we? Makeup free. Now, you see pictures of nurses when they take their mask off at the end of a 20-hour shift. Bruises, welts. Oh, God. Oh, but some millionaire celebrities are a bit fed up.
So what began as me being upset about an article preaching to me to be morally ethical when it comes to shopping, what began as me being upset with celebrities for being so out of touch with the real world that they can't handle this pandemic as well as we can, leaves me not upset with them so much as sorry for them. We, as average folks, have a much better handle on things than we think. It's just that we too often give people with influence too much weight in terms of the words they spit out that attempt to dictate how we are supposed to be living. No more. This pandemic has taught me that we're a lot stronger than they will ever give us credit for. The only problem we have left is government. And that goes for the authoritarians in local government all the way up to the federal government. Every time there's a crisis, whether it was 9/11 or Hurricane Katrina or the recession that began in 2008, we have allowed these politicians, yes, allowed these politicians, these parasites, to feed off of our rights and grab an amount of power over our lives that they never should have had access to in the first place. But don't worry, just keep doing what this pandemic has allowed us to do. Reconnect with friends, appreciate what we've had this entire time, and enjoy our families. I know that after a few weeks, you might feel like you just need to get away from some of those things, but that's precisely what government wants. They want to replace your family. Not literally, but they want to be who you turn to in times of trouble. Well, don't. There's always a catch, and the payoff to their promises never quite seem to be as good as advertised. Family. That should be our focus, a return to family. What do you guys think? Am I losing it? Am I making sense? I mean, that's up to you. I just sit here and talk. I'd love to hear what you think, so let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a share and a thumbs up. Those are the two best ways to let us know you want us to keep these videos coming. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so that YouTube might actually let you know when MRC-TV comes out with a new video. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. For MRC-TV, I'm Nick Kangadis.